hitch in the other. All right, so we're going to talk about how to use your details that you find in your research and that you put on your index cards to write generalizations. And the rule that has to be remembered is that white cards are facts and details. You don't put anything on a white card that does not come from the research. And colored cards will only be generalizations. So generalizations, opinions go on our colored index cards. And right now all you have are white cards. So the only thing that you should have in front of you when you get your cards out are details, facts, information that you got from your research. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about this information that's going to pop up here maybe. We took first step one, we labeled our sources A and B. You read information about your saint. Again, you read your information with your pen in your hand, and I did that for homework last night as well. I used the saint Rose Philippine Duchesne. She is actually the saint that settled right in St. Charles, Missouri, right across the river from here. And so when I read about her, I had two sources, and my A source is here. See my imaginary A that I put on there? And my B source starts right here. This is my B source. And it's important to keep your sources separate. When I read my A source, I found information about that she dreamed about coming to the New World to teach Indians. She was born in France in 1769. She entered the religious life, but her father did not want her to. She worked for a long time, not teaching, but working with the poor, homeless, sick, and dying. There's a woman, Madeline Sophie Beret, and she invited her to join them going to the New World. And so to go in a place in France and work in the Sacred Heart convents. She did that for 13 years. So it goes on and talks about later. So I did that reading, and you notice there's things underlined, just like you did last night. Then I took that underlined information and I put them on cards. And I have my cards labeled with A's and B's. And yesterday I told you that you had to have at least two sources, but it could be 5 A's, 4 B's, 4 A's, 5 B's, 7 A's, 2 B's, which is exactly what I have here. It doesn't matter as long as you've used both sources. So what I need to do now is I need to think, let's see, how can I put some of these together and make a generalization? When we've done reading and religion and we've made generalizations, everything was already in a paragraph and it was all there and we had the information. So now we're kind of doing it backwards, and we have to look at 9 different things and come up with a generalization. So I look at, in France she worked with the poor and homeless. She taught for 13 years. She was born in 1769 in France. I'm going to put that over there. Where was it? She's canonized. That's another fact. I'm going to put that over there with that one. And this is exactly what you will do on your tabletop or your desk. You'll take your cards and you'll start moving them around. Let's see, she dreamed about coming to the New World to teach Indians. This card says that when she was 72, she actually did teach Indians. Age 35, she began teaching young girls. Let's see, she entered the religious life and her dad didn't like it. Let's see, maybe I can put, she dreamed of doing this. She waited till she was 72 to do that. Those two things really go together well. She also taught in France for 13 years before she could do that. I think I could put those three ideas together. So I can take a highlighter, maybe. Let's try it again. I can take a highlighter and take a color green. And I'll take that color green and I'll put a box around these three because they seem to go together. The cards are still white. I'm just kind of saying, I think I could make a generalization, and that's why it's green. So I think I'm going to put a green box up here for right now. And this green box actually represents something that you're going to see later. And I showed it to you yesterday. You can see then that I have green here. I didn't necessarily start with the green. It didn't really matter what color, but I have green. And it's fading. I don't know why. And here, this would be where I would write my generalization. And this is one of your cards. This is one of your cards. And as we move down, this is one of your cards. So these colors are, you're going to take the white cards and make one generalization. Let's see if we can go back to this page. Right. So if I had to look at dreamed of coming to the New World to teach Indians, at age 72, she taught Indians. Boy, that is a long time she had to wait. And she taught 13 years in France before going to New World. I could come up with a generalization such as, dun, 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 dun. She waited a long time to live out her dreams. This generalization then matches what's here. Could I have written it differently? I could. In fact, I'm sure when I taught it to the other class, and if you go home and you watch the 5A lecture, I bet I have it worded differently. Okay? So right now, though, I was able to take three of my cards and then add it there. So then the next step is I have 6 more cards. Wouldn't it be great if I could put these three together and make one, and put these three together and make one? The sad thing in research is it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes in research, the very first time we go out, okay, probably never in research will that happen, we find everything. Usually we have to go back and look again. Okay? Some of you might have to go back and look again already because you couldn't find 9 pieces of evidence. And you're going to have to go back and find a new saint and start your research over like that. That's totally okay. That's what researchers do. That's what students hate, but that's what researchers do. So if I look at these other two, I'm going to put the ones that have the years together. And if I take that she entered religious life, but Dad didn't like it, and she opened the first free school west of Missouri. And she, let's see, in France, she worked with homeless and dying, and it doesn't say that she ever really wanted to do that. And let's see, at age 35, you know what? Age 35 seems like maybe that should go over here because she waited a long time. At age 35, she began teaching young girls. Okay, so I'm going to, maybe I can put that one over here. So I'm going to kind of leave it over there. If I put this one here, so you see how I'm thinking and I'm moving things around? That's what you're going to find that you're doing, that you have to do. So now I have that Rose Philippine Deschênes opened the first free school west of Missouri. In France, she worked with the poor, homeless and dying, and she entered religious life even though her dad did not like it. Can I make these three facts come up with a generalization? Well, let's see. While I'm thinking, I'm going to come up with a different color. Let's make this one yellow. So this would be your yellow index card. And I think maybe I can. I think I could say something like, she did do things that she didn't want to do or that other people didn't want her to do. It never said that she planned on opening schools. She wanted to teach Indians. So I'm going to say that she let her strong faith guide her in her decisions or her life goals. Okay? But for right now, that's my opinion. That's my generalization that I've made using these 3 cards. So I'm going to put then a yellow box around these 3, keeping them together. What that means with your cards in your ring is that these 3 cards will go behind this card on your ring. If you want to take your cards and outline them with yellow, you can do that too. If that helps you, that's totally fine. And then I'm also going to say, yeah, I do want to leave. I think this actually helps me. And so I'm going to add that to this one here too. Remember a long time ago we talked about the Rufuses? Yeah. And how the different Rufuses, we could have at least 3. Okay. That's what these cards are. They're your Rufuses. They're your naked mole rats. Okay. And if we just had 1 or 2, it's not going to make us come up with a generalization. So right now I'm stuck with 2. What am I going to do with this? Well, I'm going to kind of on hold. I know that I probably could write a paragraph using 2 really good pieces of evidence. Because we know 2 Rufuses were okay. 3 was better. But for right now, I think I have 2 pretty good ones. But I don't have that pink one, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I can look at that later. All right. So for homework tonight, what I'm going to ask you to do is to look at your 9 cards and use your 9 cards and see if you can come up with 2 generalizations. Can you write 2 sentences tonight? 1 on a green card, 1 on a yellow card. That's what I'm going to ask you to do tonight. If you have some extras, don't worry about it. If you use 4 here, and you only have 1 extra, totally okay. The other thing I want to show you is I have all my sources in this green box, all from A. That's totally okay. Over here I have 1B and 2A. It's totally okay. It's okay now. It doesn't matter as long as they are labeled A or B. You might find that you come up with a great generalization and you remember, oh, I remember reading something else that goes with that. You can go back, get a white card, write it down, and add it to that. And that's totally okay too. It doesn't have to go strictly in that order, and once you get there, you're done. So you could go back, and it's totally okay.